What's good, y'all? Just leaving out of the gym. I always make these videos when I'm leaving out of the gym and I look at my absolute worst, and you would think that'd be the exact opposite thing you would do before you get on the camera. You know, you try and look in your best shape, but honestly, I do these videos when I leave out of the gym because when I'm at the gym working out, that's when I'm more to myself and more in my head and thinking about this and thinking about that, and then it like hits me like, man, like I need to make a video about this, about everything that's going on in my head. And you know, that's, you know, everybody has that time where, you know, maybe it's driving home or in the gym when you just sit there and think, you know what I mean? So for me, it's when I'm at the gym, I start thinking about everything that's going on in my head. It's like my moment to stop focusing on other things and focus on what's really going on with me. So today when I was at the gym, I was thinking and I was reflecting on the past couple months in this year, and just like reflecting on it, it's like when I thought about, like, man, I was at the gym today thinking like, what really happened? Like, I know I was going through, you know, heartache. I lost someone that was really close to me. I lost my grandmother, the person that raised me since I was a baby. So when I lost her, it was like a real traumatic loss to where everything around me in my life, you know, started crashing down. And in that moment, it was like kind of like I really wasn't focusing on anything else besides what was going on in my head and, you know, grieving. But, you know, you still got responsibilities that you need to take care of. And at that time, I had multiple streams of income. My income started trickling down. My businesses started suffering. Everything just started slowing down because I was the fuel to those, you know, to those businesses and to everything. So when everything started crashing down, it was kind of like I understood that it was because I was grieving and I wasn't putting as much energy into what I needed to, and I was slacking in a lot of areas. And you know, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was like, okay, I'm not working on it no more. Like, without me, everything's gonna come crashing down. It's, you know, inevitable. But it was coming so fast. Everything just started crashing down so fast that I was like, you know, I'm still in control of everything. I'm still here. I'm still in control of everything because I'm not putting the time and the effort into it. That's why it's slowing down. But the moment that I put the time and effort back into it, it's gonna pick right back up, and it's gonna be as easy to build. It's gonna be a lot easier to bounce back from this than it was to build it, because I already know what I need to do. I already know how the businesses work. You know, in the beginning, you're still trying to figure everything out. You're trying to learn the business. You're trying to figure out strategies of how the business works, or how you could be creative in your business to dominate. You know what I mean? So it was like I already had everything in place. I already knew what I had to do. I already knew all the steps that took to get it to go again. You know what I mean? But when everything came crashing down, I was like, all right, you know, I'll just put my energy back into it. It was like, it was so far like gone that it was hard to pick back up, hard to get everything back rolling, trying to get the ball back rolling, and trying to, you know, now it's like little things in my life that I was careless about, you know, like things like with the government, with the IRS, you know what I mean? Like, just like little things that if you put off, then people don't play about it when you put it off, or when you know, don't take care of these things. So, you know, now I'm like, trying to play catch up, but you're trying to play catch up with less of an income because I let all my sources of income deteriorate. And I felt as long as I put the time and the energy back into it, it's gonna pick right back up. But you can't do that when you're behind, you know what I mean? And you think of the saying, everything that you built, you could lose it as quick as you got. And you know, that just kept playing in the back of my mind. And I was like, you know, I'm still straight because I'm still the person that I know that I am. You know, I'm not a quitter. I'll bounce back. You know what I mean? I don't have an employee mindset. I have an entrepreneurial mindset. So when it comes to bouncing back, I'll find a way. You know what I mean? Even if it wasn't with Amazon, or it wasn't with real estate, or you know what I mean? Whatever it is, I could bounce back because I know I have an entrepreneurial mindset. I might go into a shoe business, or you know what I mean? I could do whatever I want as long as I have the entrepreneurial mindset. But when you're so far behind, you're trying to play catch up, and it feels like everything in your life is working against you. And that's how I felt. I was like, man, like everything, every little thing, you know, just little things. Car breaks down. Okay, now I gotta put this car in the shop. I had 3 cars, so I put one car in the shop. I drive my other car, smash it, total that car. Now I'm like, you know, everything around me, like all these bad things keep happening back to back to back, and this ain't the time for it to be happening. You know what I mean? Because now I'm trying to play catch up. But all these actions keep happening to set me further and further behind. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm thinking to myself, what is going on? Because I knew for a fact, as long as I put the time and the energy back into my business, it's gonna bounce right back. But through that time of letting everything trickle down and everything come crashing down, I fell behind, and I wasn't. Now it's not. I'm putting time and energy back into my business, which I am, and I'm taking proper actions for that. But I'm playing catch up, and you know, now my business is doing better than it's ever done before. You know, before anything has ever happened, like with my grandma or whatever, and everything's doing a lot better than what it has ever done. But still, it's like a lot of stuff is like still going on, and you know, it's still to the point where you're like, I gotta, you know, I'm still playing bounce back. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to mentally get myself back right. And I was thinking, I'm like, you know, I'm putting the time and the energy back in. You know, the ball is rolling, but I still feel like there's something lacking. So I've been, you know, like just at the gym working out today, I started thinking like, what is missing? Like, what is actually missing if I'm putting the time and energy back in, and you know, I got my sources of income back? Like, what is missing? And I started thinking, you know, I'm thinking about this as I'm working out. I'm thinking, okay, I honestly don't understand like what's missing. So I'm thinking to myself, and I reflected on before my grandmother had passed, or before any of this stuff had ever happened. I was like, what was different? And I started thinking about it. I was like, the way I ate was different. You know, the way I would schedule my days, like my time schedules, like I would break my days down into hours and set goals for myself, set daily goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, you know what I mean? And I was strict on it. I remember I would cut out like music for a month or two. You know what I mean? I'd cut out music, and I was listening to podcasts, and it wasn't something that I was like, okay, I'm done with music. It was more of, I want to listen to this podcast. So I'd start listening to podcasts while I'm driving in the car, listening to podcasts while I'm at the gym. You know, whenever I had free times, I was listening to podcasts. And when I wasn't reading podcasts, usually podcasts is something I listen to like right now, like as I'm driving, you know, or while I'm at the gym. I'm physically doing something, but I'm listening to a podcast. But when I sit down and I had like any spare time that I'm physically not doing anything, I was picking up books, I was reading, I was educating myself, I was in Facebook groups messaging people, I was constantly talking to people about that were in similar fields, or you know, had similar mindsets. And I surrounded myself around people that had similar mindsets, or you know, we could bounce ideas back and forth off each other, or in Facebook groups, you know, talking to people that are in the same exact business as me. And that's what my whole life and my whole day revolved around, was self-educating and self-improving. And then when I wasn't doing that, I was working on my business. Like, I was working to grow something. So with me doing that, it was like everything in my life was propelling in a way that it was going so smoothly. Everything was going forward, and without me even like thinking twice about it, I would feel good about myself. I would feel that everything in my life was going forward, even when I wasn't working on my business. Like even if I went to a family event or something like that, I knew that my life was going forward, just because my time and my energy was around, I was just around positive energy. I surrounded myself with positive energy. When you're listening to music that's all negative and talking about killing people and this and that energy, you pick up on that energy through that music. You know what I mean? You're picking up on that, and it's subconsciously going into your mind. All that negative energy that's in those music, all these diss tracks, all these rappers beefing with this rapper, all this controversy stuff, this and that, and it's entertainment to you. You're like, man, this is entertaining because she said this or he said this, and then he's gonna come back and say this, and I wonder what he's gonna say about this, and blah blah blah. And you're like, this ain't my life, but it's entertaining because I'm seeing them go back and forth. It's like you're watching like a boxing match, or you hear about this person shot this person, or that person shot this person, and you're involving yourself in these environments, but you're picking up on that energy. Even if it's not you, it's not your life, you're not putting that out in the universe, but you're picking up on it and you're bringing that into you. And without me even knowing, I switched that just by listening to podcasts about somebody talking about bettering themselves and inspiring other people to better themselves. I'm picking up on that energy rather than me listening to this person beefing with this person. I'm picking up on positive energy, people that's trying to reach a helping hand to help somebody else out or spread knowledge. I'm picking up on that energy now. And that was something that I did not knowingly. You know what I mean? I did that in a way of just having an interest in that. And then I was talking to people, I was meeting people through the internet, people I've never even met before. There was this guy I met on Facebook who didn't even have a profile picture. And I was talking to this guy, and I still talk to that guy to this day. I have no idea what he looks like. You know what I mean? But I know one thing, that we have a common interest, and we bounce ideas back and forth off each other, and it works for us. It's like we became friends through our business. And just surrounding myself around that type of people and reading books and self-educating myself, furthering my education. And self-education is the greatest to me, because it gives you the opportunity to read this or research this and have an opinion like, do I believe this or do I not believe in this? I listen to a lot of, I read a lot of self-help books, I guess, if you want to call it that, or listen to or watch videos of motivational speakers and stuff. But a lot of times I'll watch a video and I'll be like, yeah, I get that. I believe like what he's saying, like I understand that, and we have similar beliefs. And then that same person will say something else, and I'll be like, nah, I don't really believe that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a Kanye West situation. You might be the biggest Kanye fan in the world, but when he starts talking crazy, you're like, Kanye, you making it real hard to be a fan right now. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, I had realized that I was doing all of this stuff, surrounding myself around positive energy, before my grandmother had passed. And when my grandmother had passed, I wasn't going to the gym every day. I wasn't eating right every day. I ended up weighing the most that I've ever weighed in my entire life. And, everything was reflecting. So my health was suffering. My financial situation was suffering. My relationships were suffering, because now the people that I was talking to every day about my business, if I'm not working on my business, we're not talking about my business. You know what I mean? So my relationships with those people that I built, was suffering. Everything around me was suffering. But the biggest thing of all, it was my energy suffering. I wasn't listening to podcasts. I wasn't reading books no more. I wasn't self-educating myself no more. What was I doing? My whole lifestyle had changed. I was listening to music that, really, I started listening to music that was like so hateful. And at the time, just experiencing the death and hearing songs about someone saying, I'm gonna kill this person, or I shot this person, I caught you on this block and I killed this person, it like kind of hit me like damn, like I know what it feels like to lose somebody, because I just lost somebody. And I'm hearing in these songs like they talking about it like it's a normal thing. And I've heard these songs before, and I've heard, you know, this type of music before, and you just kind of like, yeah, it's entertainment. But then you start thinking about the effects that it has on people, because when they're putting that in their songs, they're putting that energy into the universe. And you got young kids, 11, 12 years old, or even 6, 7 years old, that are hearing this and think that it's cool. You know what I mean? When I was little, I remember my favorite rapper was 50 Cent. And if you're around my age, and anybody that's a little younger than me, they not really gonna understand this. But if you're around my age, coming up, when Get Rich or Die Trying came out, whoo, man, 50 Cent was like the shit. When he came out with Bulletproof, the video game, and came out the movie Get Rich or Die Trying, the album Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent was the shit. So, you know, I remember I used to play the game, watch the movie, and I wanted to be him. You know what I mean? So the stuff that he used to say, he would talk about killing people too. But now it's to the point where it's like every song, it's not getting played if you ain't talking about something negative. You know what I mean? And I think about the youth, the 11, 12-year-old kids that are listening to this, picking up on this energy, and they want to be these people. You know what I mean? We all idolize people, all had idols, but I'm looking like, these are your idols? You know, are these the new idols for the next generation? You know what I mean? And I constantly see it, living so close to Chicago. You know, you constantly see murders. Every single day you see murders. You know what I mean? And I've lost someone close to me, so when I felt that pain and I heard about it, like when you hear it in the songs, it's kind of like, nah, that ain't even cool, man. Like, it's like I wouldn't wish that pain on anybody else. You know what I mean? And that was my grandmother. That was someone that was near and dear to my heart. And I'm thinking, like, these people are talking about killing people, you know, our age, you know, 20 years old, 17, 18, you know what I mean? And now you got to think about, imagine losing your kids. I got 2 kids. If I were to lose one of my kids, Lord knows, you know, what that would do to me. You know what I mean? So it kind of made me change the way that I was thinking. But eventually I grew out of that, and like further along in my coping, I started listening back to music like I used to, and was hearing the same songs about killing, or, you know, I'm fucking this bitch, or I'm you know, all this stuff about sex and drugs and this and that. And you think about how far along it's gone. And I'm not trying to say this to sound like a lame, but it's true. Like, even if you don't indulge in those type of things, you're picking up on that energy. Everything that they're saying is negative. You know, whether it's popular, lame, you can call me lame or whatever, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, nothing that they're really saying is positive. They're not putting no positive energy in there. You know what I mean? And subconsciously, without me even knowing, just by listening to podcasts and reading books, it took my attention away from, you know, the entertainment source, which was music. I still love music to this day, but it kind of took me away from that for a second. I was listening to it, and I noticed how my whole life changed. Like, everything in my life was going forward and progressing. And then when I started putting the time and the energy back into my business, and things just weren't clicking, I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, things, you know, really ain't clicking. I got my business. The finances are doing good now. The financial part is still doing good. But the thing that is missing is my mentality, my mental. You know what I mean? Because I'm not putting, you know, the work back into myself. I put the work into the business to make the money. But the thing that I'm lacking still is putting the work into myself. You know what I mean? And I just thought about that today.
You want some chili in here?
Yes, please.
How much?
A decent amount. I don't know what that is. Well, you got the little bags. The little, like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, I like it sweet. All right, me and these 2 lovely little girls.
Miss you.
We're about to go to the library and go get some books. Ain't that right? Is that right, guys?
Yeah. Yep.
What was that, Eliana? Do that again.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go get some books. We're gonna read some books, right?
Yeah.
Every time you see Daddy, Daddy has a book in his hand, right?
No.
No? Hey, I'm trying to record a video. So I need you to say yeah, okay?
Yeah.
Alright, so Daddy's got a book in his hand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Daddy, the book in his hand.
You guys ready?
Yeah. And the book in his hand.
Daddy need a book in his hand?
Yes.
We all need a book in our hand, don't we?
Yes.
What type of book you want, Eliana?
I wish I had a mermaid one.
A mermaid book?
Yeah,
What about you, Amia?
Huh?
What type of book you want?
I want a book mermaid.
A book about a mermaid. That's what Eliana wants, ain't it?
Yeah, but there's only one book mermaid.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of books about mermaids.
Yeah.
Gotta be quiet in the library. Ready? Say shh. Say. Alright, here we are. The little kids department. What? Uh-oh. He's making noise in the library. Uh-oh. I'm gonna get in trouble. Ask her, say, you got any books about mermaids?
I had one. I have books about mermaids. Mermaids? I had a mermaid.
Alright, so this is the books that they found. They got, let's look over them. They got Mermaid Dreams, Mermaid School. They got Julie is the Mermaid.
Oh, it's in this.
Huh?
That's not.
It's a mermaid. Got a whole bunch of books. You happy with the books we got?
Yeah.
Now we gotta go home and start reading, huh?
Yeah.
We got a whole lot of books. And it would have been smart to bring like a bag or something to put them in. I didn't think that far ahead.